They say time only moves forward, a straight line, one direction, from birth to death, from sunrise to sunset. But what if, for a brief, impossible moment, that line bends? What if you took a single step forward and landed decades behind? Across the world, people whisper of time slips, moments when ordinary people, not scientists, not mystics, suddenly find themselves standing in another era. Different streets, different voices, a world that shouldn't exist, but does, just long enough to be seen. And some bring something back. A photo, a coin, a small impossible object that doesn't belong in our time. Throughout history, there have been thousands of strange stories, all describing the same impossible phenomenon. People vanishing for minutes, only to return shaken, claiming they've walked through time. No portals, no flashing lights, just a quiet moment, a turn down the wrong street, a sudden chill in the air, and reality changes. Today, we'll explore real cases that challenge our understanding of time itself. Are these psychological illusions, quantum anomalies, or, as some physicists now whisper, cracks between timelines? It was a summer afternoon in 1996. Two friends, Frank and his wife Carol, were walking down Bold Street in Liverpool, England. The city was alive with traffic, shop signs, and chatter. Then, in a blink, silence. Frank turned the corner expecting to see a bookstore. Instead, horse-drawn carriages, 1950s cars, women in long skirts, men in hats. The air smelled of coal and perfume. The world had lost its color, like an old film reel. He stood frozen as people brushed past, their voices muffled. A bus with old typography rolled by. Destination, Aigburth. He looked down. The pavement beneath his shoes had changed pattern. Panicking, Frank turned to call Carol, but she was gone. Seconds later, she appeared again, confused, saying he'd vanished for a few moments. When Frank later described the scene, historians confirmed every detail. The signs, the buses, the clothes, perfectly matched the year 1953. What did Frank experience? A hallucination? Or a tear? A microscopic fold in space-time, August 10th, 1901. Two respectable academics, Charlotte Anne Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain, took a walk through the gardens of the Palace of Versailles, France. They were searching for the Petit Trianon, once the private retreat of Marie Antoinette. The air grew heavy, the light dimmed, unnaturally yellow, as if filtered through glass. They saw men in green coats, old-fashioned hats, and one woman sketching on the grass. The scene was quiet, almost frozen. Later, they realized the people they'd seen were not visitors, but figures dressed exactly like those from the 18th century. When historians checked, they confirmed the women's descriptions matched the palace as it appeared in 1789, right before the French Revolution. The story became known as the Ghosts of Versailles. But both women insisted these were not ghosts. They believed they had walked into another time. 1. Quantum tunneling of time. Some physicists suggest time slips could be quantum echoes, fragments of space-time folding over itself. Just like light can bend around massive objects, perhaps time can refract, allowing brief glimpses into another era. 2. Parallel realities. According to multiverse theory, countless versions of Earth exist, each vibrating at slightly different frequencies. Could time slips happen when two versions momentarily overlap, causing a person to phase into another timeline? 3. Electromagnetic disturbances. Certain areas, like Liverpool, Versailles, and rural Utah, show unusual magnetic fields. Could these anomalies distort the brain's perception of time, creating shared hallucinations? But if that's true, how do we explain physical evidence, like the French coin found embedded in a modern road, dated 1790 and untouched by corrosion? In 1979, a pilot named Antonio experienced something he could never explain. Flying from the Canary Islands to Tenerife, his aircraft was engulfed in a strange glowing mist. Instruments failed, radios died. When the mist cleared, the air traffic tower told him something impossible. He had landed 10 minutes before his recorded takeoff time. Every clock on the ground confirmed it. To this day, the flight remains one of Spain's most baffling aviation anomalies, a real-life time loop. At CERN, physicists study how particles briefly travel backward in time at subatomic scales. Neutrinos and tachyons, hypothetical faster-than-light particles, could, in theory, allow information to travel through time. But what if consciousness, the human mind, acts as a receiver? What if time slips are not physical jumps, but mental alignments? Moments when the brain tunes into another frequency of reality. EEG studies show that people experiencing dissociation or déjà vu display patterns eerily similar to those under strong electromagnetic influence. So maybe these events aren't accidents, maybe they're resonances. In 2003, a man in Tokyo was found unconscious in a subway tunnel. When revived, he claimed to have woken up in a version of the city that didn't exist. The trains were older. The advertisements showed brands long gone. He pocketed a small metal token, a subway coin with a date from 1954. Scientists tested it. The metal composition matched mid-20th century alloys, but the coin had no signs of oxidation, as if it had been minted yesterday. The man disappeared weeks later. The coin remains locked in a private collection, a relic from nowhere. Time defines everything we are: memory, aging, destiny. But if it can bend, then maybe reality isn't a straight path, but a spiral. Maybe each second we live is layered atop countless others. And sometimes, just sometimes, those layers touch. So when someone says they stepped through time, maybe we shouldn't ask how. Maybe the real question is, why were they allowed to see it? And as for that small object, the coin, the photograph, the broken watch that ticks only when the moon is full, maybe they're not proof. Maybe they're invitations.